icon for Europe, but they've lost their vital spark. Celtic won silverware last weekend and can stretch their SPL lead today. But this season, United haven't lost in the league to the champions. Last Sunday's League Cup winners came out on top in a penalty shootout against Dundee United in the semis, but Celtic haven't beaten the Tannadice team in the SPL this season. Will that trend continue? Answer coming up. Gordon Strachan's team landed the first silverware of the season last Sunday with an Old Firm League Cup final win at Hampden. Aidan McGeady scored one of the two goals. Scott Brown again was outstanding, and Steve McManus lifted the trophy. Dundee got a goal he will never forget. Will there be a place today for Jan Vennegoor of Hesselink, I wonder? Willow Flood back with his former employers. Shunsuke Nakamura is here. Georgios Samaras, could he feature? He will. Artur Boruc in goal. 10 games to go for Celtic as the Old Firm scrap it out for the Scottish title. They can open up a 5-point lead over Rangers if they do what they haven't done so far this season and beat Dundee United over 90 minutes. But United at level.
Craig, none of your nearest rivals managed to win yesterday, so in theory, is this a chance to pick up some ground?
Well, not just in theory. There is a chance to pick up ground. A win today takes us 3 points away from Hearts. And you know, 3 points is one match, so yeah, the intention is to go all out for the victory today.
And you've had some very close matches with them this season, 3 draws, certainly in 90 minutes anyway. What do you have to do differently to make the difference to win the match?
Yeah, well, I think we'll have to score when we get the opportunities. That's the key. We had chances in all of the previous games, and we've done enough to get a draw in all of them. But you know, I think it's about time that we turned the chances that we're creating into goals. And you know, I think today's a great opportunity for us. We go into this game with a recent history against Celtic of, you know, performance has been excellent. So I'm looking for that to continue, but I think we'll need to take a high percentage of the chances that we make.
And you've picked a very attack-minded side. You've brought back Sandaza and Conway into the starting lineup. But I imagine you'd be disappointed that you haven't got Paul Callis available because of the agreement between the two clubs. Well,
you know, the deal was done, and at the time that we did the deal, then on Celtic's insistence, he wasn't playing. So I don't mind that. That's fine. We had a situation last year when we had Jim O'Brien, when you know there was no agreement, and then at the last minute they wanted Jim not to play, which is a different story altogether. But if we do a deal with Celtic and the deal is that the lad doesn't play, then he doesn't play. You know, I don't mind that. And I mean, you could argue that bringing Craig Conway in isn't going to weaken the side at all. So, yeah, I mean, I'm disappointed with the lad. He's not playing, but, you know, certainly we've got adequate cover.
Well, we wish you well today, Craig.
Thank you.
That's right. Winnable, you would imagine, in Craig Levine's mind. Home game against Hibs, New Douglas Park against Hamilton, and then Kilmarnock are here in the final game before the split. As for Celtic,
we felt aggrieved that we should have had a penalty, and then they go up 10 seconds later and score the winner, which you know, totally changed the game. Obviously changed the positions in the league as well, slightly as well. So it was quite a big decision for us. We could have been 10 clear of Motherwell if we'd won that game. Now we're only you know, 4 clear of them now. So it's, like I say, it is a fine line, and a couple of wins either way can really change things.
You still feel positive about Europe and even that third spot?
Yeah, we've still got to be confident. We've still got to be as positive as we can. Go into every game from now to the end of the season as positive as we can, and you know, think we're going to win the game. Think we're going to get the European spot, and I think that's the only way you can be about it, as confident as you can be.
And does the fact that there's 2, possibly 3 European spots up for grabs, does that help matters a little bit?
As far as I'm concerned, we should be going for the top spot as the 3rd spot, you know, and let other teams worry about what else happens after that. I think if we go and make sure we get a third spot, then you know we've got nothing to worry about. I think obviously there's a place for 4th, and then there's a question mark over 5th place in that as well. So like I say, I don't think we should worry about whether we're going to get on or not. Just make sure we definitely are, and by getting 3rd place.
What's been wrong with the form? Has there been anything major that you can see compared to last season, or is it just a couple of fine things you've got to tweak a little bit?
Well, I honestly think the past month and a half we've been quite unlucky. I mean, we've dominated games and we've sort of not quite had the breaks. We've, against Hearts, I think they had one real opportunity at goal and scored. Same with Inverness game at Tannadice, we dominated that game, they had a chance. I mean, that goes down to pure defending as well, and that comes back to me and the rest of the boys as well. So that's something we've got to improve on. But like I say, I think if we get a little bit of break, then things could have been much different.
As far as Celtic are concerned, what are you expecting from this one?
I think it's going to be a tough game. They've obviously took a huge boost from the CIS final, and it's an important game for them. And for any team at this stage, it's an important game whether you're top or bottom. So it's going to be a tough one. We're looking to win to get to Europe. They're looking to win to secure the league. I think, generally against the old firm the past year and a half, we've performed quite well at Tannadice. So I think we've been slightly better against Rangers, but hopefully we can turn the performances against Celtic into points. I think definitely we need to pick something up, and we'll be going into the game, looking for a win 100%. At the very, very least a draw. But I'm sure if we can play as well as we have in the past, take our chances, then 3 points has got to be something we've got to look for.
It's probably not too surprising that Lee Wilkie's name has cropped up among the contenders being thrown around for Player of the Season. Stephen, he's been very good, hasn't he?
He certainly has been, and I think he deserves enormous credit. He's suffered 2 horrific knee injuries and potential career-threatening injuries, them being, and for him to be playing at the level he has, he really does deserve enormous credit. I've spoke to Craig about him, and Craig's told me that they have to manage him on a daily basis in terms of his training schedule. But he's been in wonderful form this year, and he'll certainly relish the challenge of playing against Jan Vennegoor today.
He's one you'd want alongside you in the trenches, isn't he?
Yeah, he doesn't mind pointing the finger, You see him gets angry at his teammates, and just seems a great big character, doesn't he? And Craig Levine, obviously his gaffer, has a lot of faith in him, and I totally agree with Stephen here. He's come back from a career-threatening knee injury. They were talking about this lad after retire at 25, 26 years of age a couple of seasons ago, but done fantastically well. Obviously has a big heart and a big hunger for the game.
Talking about career-threatening injuries, James Veselovsky at the age of only 21 has had 2 leg breaks already, but I know that you've chatted with Craig about him and his big hopes for what he can do for United.
Absolutely, and one was against Celtic in a pre-season friendly, and they had very high hopes for him as a young lad at Leicester, and he suffered a broken leg in a challenge with Big Bobo, I believe, and I think he's a very aggressive midfield player. He likes to sit in front of the back 4, break things up and play simple football, and they've got high hopes for him, and I'm sure he'll be a very effective signing for them.
Fran Sandaza up front for Dundee United today. What have you made of him, John, from what you've seen of him so far?
I quite like what I see. He's got 8 goals this season. Whether or not he is capable of getting in the 20s, I don't know. But he's very important to how Dundee United play. He links it, he gets it into feet. He will show on the edge of the box, backs into people. And good ability. Came from Valencia. You don't hear of too many bad players who play for Valencia, but a very good player, and scored against Celtic early on this season, of course.
He's 24, average age of the Dundee United team today, 23. Celtic will be...
Did make 2 changes from the Motherwell defeat. Paul Caddis can't play because he's on loan from Celtic. John Daly drops to the bench, having come off with a hamstring tweak last week. In come Craig Conway and Francisco Sandaza, who scored against Celtic here back in August. Keeper Lucas Zaluska will join Celtic in the summer. Scott Robertson is still sidelined.
Well, United set up in a 4-3-3. Clean sheets have been hard to come by of late, but that must be their priority today. So, as usual, Lee Wilkie is vital for the home side. The midfield three have their work cut out against quality opposition and an extra player in that middle area, but with Gomez and Baubin flanking Wesolowski, we have a youthful energy and a lack of fear, which I think could play a huge part for Craig Levine's side. It'll be up to the three front players to provide the cutting edge, and if Conway's in the mood, United have a real chance.
Celtic make two changes from their Cup final team. Stephen McManus turned an ankle in training, but should be okay for Scotland. Then Lovens has a calf knock, so Hampden goal hero Darren O'Dea switches to centre-half, and Lee Naylor returns at left-back. Much criticised Jan Vennegoor of Hesselink captains the side in a show of support from his manager. Two former Dundee United men are on the bench in Mark Wilson and Willo Flood, but another, Barry Robson, is still sidelined.
If Celtic are back to the usual 4-4-2 today, but have a reshuffle in defence. Both Caldwell and O'Dea are at the top of their game though, so forming that central partnership shouldn't pose a problem. And the midfield has been tried and tested. It's got a little bit of everything from right to left, class, power, experience, and in McGeady, pure raw talent. Up front, we know this is Strachan's preferred duo. Today it's up to the under pressure Jan Vennegoor of Hesselink to prove that his manager is right.
And Vennegoor of Hesselink ready to lead Celtic out then. And after beating Rangers in the Cup final last Sunday, Celtic could now move 5 points clear of their Glasgow rivals in the race for the title. Dundee United, though, usually give the Old Firm a game. They've drawn 4 of their 5 matches against both Glasgow Giants this season, but they haven't beaten Celtic for almost a decade. They've come close, very close a few times, but that is a ridiculously long wait to get the better of them. Celtic won the title on this ground last season on a dramatic final day in May. Another triumph at Tannadice today could prove rather telling in the tussle for this season's championship. Tannadice is ready for an engaging encounter. Thousands of Celtic fans have made the trip to Tannadice. The two teams will line up to show their support against hunger, a campaign that is occurring all across Europe. Football clubs doing their bit. There'll be a shake of hands before these two teams get down to business. And it's big business today. Dundee United have a bit of work to do to secure a place in the top 6, but if they manage that, they'll be targeting a place in Europe. Celtic in pole position as they chase a 4th title in 4 years. And this could be a memorable weekend for them. Having signed a pre-contact agreement, Lucas Zaluska will be a Celtic player by the summer, joining his fellow countryman Artur Boruc. They were also together at Legia Warsaw, and they're both in the Polish squad for their forthcoming World Cup qualifiers. Darren O'Dea's Celtic career appeared to be going nowhere fast. He nearly joined Burnley on loan, but things can change so quickly in football, and after a cup final goal, he's at centre-half today in place of the injured skipper, Stephen McManus. So the captain's armband does go to Jan Vennegoor of Hesselink, who's been getting plenty of stick this season. He scored a title-clinching winner here back in May, but has only managed 2 goals since. Craig Levein has transformed Dundee United in his 2.5 years in charge. They have become a force to be reckoned with again after years of underachievement. Steve Conway is in charge. Well, the way the fixtures have fallen, Celtic could have an 8-point lead at the top before Rangers play again. So it's a massive match. After Rangers blew a 2-goal lead against Hearts yesterday, it's Aidan McGeady perfectly to have a swipe at it.
Does just open up here. That's a worry. Kenneth doesn't go. Wilkie backs off as well. I'm not quite sure what they're trying there.
Nakamura. It's Hartley in an advanced position. It's Benegora Hesseling. Scott McDonald was lurking, obviously.
Of course, the chief sniffer is in there. Scott McDonald is not far away from it.
Naylor. McDonald in a tangle with Wilkie. It's a corner. Wilkie protesting to Steve Conroy. Quite windy around Tannadice. Hartley able to take it eventually, and it's been forced in by Scott McDonald, and Celtic have the lead at Tannadice.
It's a half-decent ball in. Feeney gets a touch at the front post, but Scott McDonald exactly where you'd expect him to be. Yeah, Feeney just gets it there. Zaluska gets a touch to it. There's Gomez, there's a bowler on the goal line. Who can't get there because Scott McDonald sees it early.
Conway! And Boris had to push it away for a corner.
That's a nice break. Brabant showing his strength and his vision as well to pick out Conway.
Nakamura. McDonald to his left. Celtic searching for a second, and that is a very good save from Zaluska.
Great strike there from Scott McDonald, very clean, but the goalkeeper reacted well.
Oh. McGeady's onto this. Dixon's error. Aidan McGeady is going for goal, and Dixon did enough just to put him slightly off his stride.
At this point I thought McGeady was going to get away from him, but the fullback does so well to get back in. That's why it's important to have fullbacks with pace.
Celtic hungry for a second goal before half-time. It's Nakamura's corner. Oh, Zaluska flapped it in, it didn't go in.
Jan Fenner of Hesseling, it just gets the touch before Zaluska can get there. And you can see Gomes on the goal line.
Dixon delivers, and Sandaza! Dundee United level at the start of the second half.
It's a great ball in, and that's work from training. Sandaza arrives there very late, just sneaks it in front of Jan Fenner of Hesseling, and it's a great header. He times it well.
Dixon, Sandaza, he scored again!
Celtic on the sea, you look at the space they get down the right-hand side, Dundee United. It's a good ball pulled back, but Sandaza's got so much still to do, and that is a sublime finish. He gets enough on it, it's almost behind him, and all he's got to try and do is wrap his foot around it.
Taylor's long throw, and Cornwell pokes it wide. Huge chance to equalise.
Samras does well. Initial flick on from Udi.
Hinkle's throw. Scott Brown rose so well. And it's Lee Naylor with a spectacular volley.
What a volley. He takes that one more or less off his knee, it's so high. Catches it superbly well. Kenneth gets the ball away. And Naylor finds himself inside the box. Doesn't think too much about it. He's loving it now.
Long throw time. Summerhouse guarding Wilkie. And the overhead kick from John Daly. Diverted en route.
It's a great effort. He's such a big lad, Daly. When it comes, he lines this one up. I think it was going to go wide anyway, but Naylor didn't know anything about that.
All their efforts. And Dundee United came out all guns blazing in the second half. They turned the game around with a double strike from Fran Sandaza, their Spanish striker from Valencia. And just as it looked like Dundee United might claim their first win over Celtic since 1999, Lee Naylor fired in a venomous volley to rescue Celtic and to save the day. Scott McDonald poaching an opener for Celtic. Craig Levein must have had a bit to say at half-time because Dundee United had never really got going, but they didn't hang about. Less than 2 minutes into the second half, Sandaza swooped, and then how about this for a fabulous finish in a stirring second half. But perhaps the best goal was yet to come. Lee Naylor rattling that one in, and Celtic blew the chance to go 5 points clear today of Rangers, but they have a 3-point lead. Once again, this fixture ends in a draw. Dundee United 2, Celtic 2.
Sunday, 2-2 at Ibrox and 2-2 at Tannadice today after Scott McDonald gave Celtic the lead in the first half with his 16th goal of the season. That could have been his 17th were it not for Lucas Zaluska, who of course is Celtic bound at the end of the season. Morgado Gomes setting United there off the line. Craig Levein's team 1 down at half-time. They came out of the blocks at the start of the second half, and Fran Sandaza headed in within a couple of minutes of the restart for 1-1 and scored again quickly afterwards to turn things around. 10th goal of the season for him. 2-1 Dundee United. Gary Caldwell with a miss. Lee Naylor with a hit. Some hit. 81 minutes, and that squared it off at 2-2. It was a highly engrossing 90 minutes. And that means this in the Clydesdale Bank Premier League. 64 points for Celtic, 61 for Rangers. So the gap remains the same, 3 points between the title rivals. Dundee United a point better off for all their efforts, and they go level with Aberdeen, still chasing Hearts for third, 5 points behind. Let's hear from the Dundee United manager, Craig Levein.
Craig, I'm sure you're proud of your players' performance today, but disappointed they couldn't hold on?
Yeah, that sums it up. I felt we worked away reasonably well in the first half without, having enough belief in our own ability to cause Celtic problems. But after the break, we were much better, and there's an element of frustration that I wish we would start the game like that. And well, you know the game and you know how it works sometimes. And I'm proud of the effort they put in, the way they played. The pitch was pretty bumpy, but they tried to pass it, and just the game did swing end to end, so I can't complain. I mean, Celtic will look at the chances they had and probably say they deserved a point. So the unfortunate thing for us, we were leading and it looked like we had the 3 points.
Tremendous character shown by your players to fight back from a goal down, and it's not the first time they've done that this season against the Old Firm.
No, I keep telling them that we're not scared of playing the Old Firm. We didn't start the game particularly well today, and we never really managed to get up any momentum at all. In the second half, I think it's better, much better, of course. Every time we play either Celtic or Rangers, we tend to give them a decent match. Now we need to, look at our second-hand performance today and try and take that into our next game. Unfortunately, it's a fortnight before we play again.
It was noticeable that you were shouting at your players in the first half to get further up the pitch. Did you feel they were playing too deep? Because it was certainly noticeable in the second half that they really pressed the game very well.
Yeah, I thought we just sat off the game a little bit, and we defended in good areas, but not all the time. What would happen was they'd push us back, and then instead of making up the ground when we should have done, we didn't do it. And that created little pockets of space for McDonald to come off and lengthened the game, which, you know, I didn't really want to do. I wanted to keep it short.
You had a big contribution today from Francisco Sandaza. 2 goals, that's him into double figures now, and half of them against the Old Firm.
Well, you can't accuse him of not scoring against the best teams, can you? I mean, he's had a stop-start season with injury, and you know, from my point of view, I think if I can get him on the pitch and playing every week, I said at the start of the season I think he'd scored 20 goals. I think if he'd played in all the matches, the evidence would suggest it wouldn't be far away for that. So hopefully he can finish the season strongly. He's now injury-free, and you know, he did well. He scored the goals, and he'll get the plaudits for that. But I thought as a team, I thought there was loads of positives. You've
got a very young side here, Craig. The average age is under 23. With that in mind, you must feel like they can only improve.
Yeah, logically that would be right. We should get better. We should be a better side next season than we are just now. We've got just about 90% of the players already tied up in 2 or 3 year contracts, and you know, I'm looking forward to it. You know, I think that we can get better, and that's, you know, that's something that excites me.
Still feeling positive that you can achieve European football for next season?
Yeah, I think I've been telling people recently that our performances have been pretty good. We just haven't been getting what we deserved out of matches, and quite often not because of anything we're doing, out circumstances out with our control. So, you know, I think as I said, we'd finish the season strongly. I firmly believe that, and you know, hopefully, as I said, we can take the performance in the second half and improve on it against Hibs.
Thanks for your time, Craig. Well done.
Okay, thank you.
16 heading for 20, I guess, this time around. He is so sharp in that 6-yard box, isn't he?
He certainly is, and he seems to be the man at this moment in time scoring the goals for Celtic. You know, as I said, he came in from Motherwell a year and a half ago, and there was doubts whether he could handle being the main Celtic striker, and I think he's proved to everybody just what a good player he really is.
Artur Boruc didn't have too many saves to make in the first half. That tells the story. This from Craig Conway, which he paddled around the post, but there really wasn't an awful lot of pressure on the Boruc goal, John.
No, there wasn't, and this is all we had really. Dundee United in the first half. It was really they played in fits and starts, if you like, but they didn't threaten the goal, and will be what Craig Levein will be so pleased about, is that obviously he's got him in at half time. It's only 1-0. They're very much still in the match, and always at 1-0, you know, and whoever gets that next goal, if Celtic go 2-0 up today, I don't see any way back for Dundee United. The fact that Dundee United got it, that they obviously got a bit of resurgence from scoring.
And one of the reasons Dundee United were only 1 goal down at half-time was Celtic-bound goalkeeper Lucas Zaluska. This was a top save, wasn't it, from McDonald?
Well, I said at half-time that I believe this was as good a save as I've seen all season. It's a terrific hit, and it really is a world-class save. You know, not only just to get down to that, he's got a strong hand on that, and to hold it, terrific, you know.
And sometimes supporters reckon when a player is heading to another club that, does he give everything against them? Well, I think he answered the question there, didn't he?
Oh yeah, and his future manager possibly is in the dugout, so it's a great stage for him to go and perform.
It was one of those shots that looked as if it was almost behind him when he made the save.
It did. I actually thought he went in. I actually thought it went in from behind him, from where we're sitting here, but it came through a crowd of bodies as well, and that's why it makes it such a good save. And it bounced off his hand, and he got up quickly, and he did the second one very well as well.
Paul Dixon showed what to do when you make a mistake. His error let in Aidan McGeady here, but he atoned for it. He kept calm, he kept cool, and he got back just in time, Stephen. You'd have been pleased with this. I don't know if you quite got the pace to get back there.
No, I wouldn't have got back. There's no way I'd have got back to that. But, you know, Aidan did very, very well today for Celtic. You know, I thought he was on top of his game today, but, you know, Dixon does extremely well here after the initial error to show the pace to get back to Aidan, because Aidan is very, very quick and make a very timely challenge.
What he doesn't do there, I think he's got to go across him. If he had another chance to do that, Aidan seems to run in a straight line. I think if he can get across Dixon, there's no way Dixon can get at him there, but I think if he could do that again, that's what he'd probably do.
Here's another reason Celtic were only 1 ahead at the interval. Morgado Gomes on the goal line. Interesting the position he adopts at corner kicks. He's in the middle rather than on one of the posts, but lucky he was there for United.
It's certainly the case. I've not seen this before, and we spoke about this during the game. You know, Gomez's position, they didn't have anybody on either post, and Gomez stands in a more central position, and I think fortunately for Dundee United that it certainly worked today.
Celtic were hugely impressive in that first half, weren't they? I mean, they carved out enough good opportunities, John, to have made it safe. Yeah, they're all moving Warren Feeney in alongside Fran Sandaza, and although the Dundee United equaliser came from a set piece, there was just something more front-footed about United, wasn't there, in the second half?
Yeah, they certainly played more on the front foot, but the interesting thing about this goal from Celtic's point of view is that the front post position, they zonal mark Celtic, and the front post position normally was taken up by Stephen McManus, and he wasn't in there today, and as you've seen by the goal, Dundee United fully capitalised on that.
This didn't please Gordon Strachan. A switch off from Celtic at Dundee United set piece. Paul Dixon cut it back, and what a good finish from Sandaza.
It is a good finish, and he's not getting the credit he really deserves, Sandaza, because he just pulls in, he just gets himself into space. He gets somewhere where if the ball lands to him, there's nobody within, 12 feet of him there. It's poor defending from Celtic's point of view, but the striker pulls off. Teddy Sheringham, if you like, always in space, in the box. That's a great habit to get into as a striker, and it's a wonderful finish as well. It's going away from Boric all the time, sweeps it in from behind him. Lovely finish.
And as Stuart said in the interview with Craig Levine, it's a great ratio, isn't it? That 5 of Sandaza's 10 goals have come against the old firm. He can do it at a good level.
Absolutely, and you know, I thought in the second half today he played extremely well. You know, as I said before, I think he plays better with a second striker alongside him. You know, and in the second half he fully capitalised on that with two fine finishes. Another important Zaluska save in the second half. I think, John, initially you thought this was a good height, but it was hit with a lot of power, wasn't it, by McDonald? It was. It's hit really well. It is a good save, Rob. I think the keeper should get credit for it. It's a save you'd expect your keeper to make, though. It's straight at him, but no, it is a good save. It's struck with a lot of power, and he deals with it very, very well. But again, I'm expecting my keeper to save that. I think you did wonder going into the last 10 minutes whether things might just not be going Celtic's way here today, especially when this sort of thing happens. A chance for Gary Caldwell close in, and he prodded it wide of target. Yeah, he did. He was unlucky with the finish. He tries to finish it with outside his foot and put it in the far corner. But you know, I think you've got to give credit to Celtic. You know, as John said earlier, you know, I thought they showed real championship credentials today. They found themselves 2-1 at a very difficult venue, and showed great character. You know, I thought they, especially in the last 10-15 minutes, they played in a very positive manner, and were maybe unfortunate not to get the third. And I mean, Dundee United would have done well, wouldn't they, to have withstood the sort of pressure that Celtic were piling on them at the end? Well, you could see it come in. It was like the Alamo in the end. You could really see it come in. But with Sandaza, obviously he was on a hat trick. He was buzzing, so he was always a threat. You know, Celtic expected a really tough game today, and Dundee United haven't disappointed them. You know, that's 4 games. 4 times Celtic have played Dundee United this year and failed to beat them. They failed to beat them over 120 minutes at Hampden in the Cup. It eventually went to penalties where Celtic won it. But they really are turning into Celtic's bogey team this year, Dundee United. The equaliser from Lee Naylor, when you look at it, was actually quite close to Lucas Zaluska, but it was hit with such ferocity that he didn't stand a chance. Yeah, and I think also the goalkeeper's blinded. You know, I don't think the goalkeeper sees it till late. It's a terrific strike, and one I've seen him do many a time at training. Unfortunately not on a Saturday, but often on the training field. But I'm delighted for Lee. You know, he's come in today. He probably wasn't expecting to play. He's come in and he's played extremely well, and added to that a terrific goal. Sure, this was heading in from John Daly, but Lee Naylor wasn't to know, and it was an important header. Yeah, I think it's great technique from Daly. Look at that overhead kick. That's wonderful. But he's a big lad as well. You don't expect to see big centre forwards doing that type of thing. I actually think it's going just wide, but as you say, Naylor's not to know that. Right, let's have a word or two from Lee Wilkie, the Dundee United skipper. Another standout performance from him this afternoon. Here he is.
Well, Lee, it was a tremendous game of football to watch. How was it to play in?
It was really really high tempo. Obviously, they pushed on a little bit when we took the lead in the second half. Created some chances, but then again we created chances at the other end too, so it was I'm sure it was quite an entertaining game to watch.
Obviously you finished the game very strongly, but were you disappointed with the way you came out in the first half?
Yeah, I mean, I think obviously they caused us a little bit of problems from set pieces, but you know, we managed to sort of I'll keep it to 1. I mean, they had a good chance from a corner, but when we went into half-time, we knew that we'd cause them problems in the second half from set pieces. So I think we try to take a bit of encouragement from the fact that, you know, they caused us problems in the first half that, like I say, we could have caused them problems. So obviously we were disappointed to go in 1-0 because we never really played well, but the manager gives a team talk, and we'll go out there and perform better, and that's the reaction he's looking for.
No one can accuse this Dundee United team of lying down, because you fought back so many times against the Old Firm this season to pick up points.
Yeah, I mean, we've always played quite well against Old Firm. Maybe never quite had the breaks in previous games, but again today we created chances, played well second half, and I think that's all about the confidence and the belief that we've got in the team. We just need to try and sort of show that belief in games that we should be winning really against the rest outside the Old Firm when it comes to European spots. So we've got 3 games to go before the split. We want to make sure we try and get as many points as we can out of those games.
Is your target still to catch Hearts in 3rd place?
Definitely. I mean, I think we're more than capable of doing that. Like I say, we've got 3 games before the split that we think we're more than capable of picking up a good few points. And then, like I say, we take it from there after the split.
Thanks, Lee. Well done.
Thanks a lot. Cheers.
So much interest in the SPL about who wins the title, who goes down to the First Division next season, and also Stephen, who's going to finish 3rd, because Hearts have got it at the moment, but Dundee United, as Lee says there, haven't given up hope.
Absolutely, and the 12-team league has been much criticised, but at this moment in time it's very exciting. There's the battle at the top of the league, the battle for Europe, and then the relegation battle, and it's shaping up nicely to a very exciting end to the season.
Top